I've got a question here about regulation. Talk about regulation at risk. I'm going to paraphrase it a little bit here, but the point is that basically what types of regulations or changes in regulations are necessary or would be most advantageous to sort of the return to health of your particular sector. Thoughts, comments about that?
Well, the real estate is such a capital-intensive industry. It costs a lot of money. Not talking about single-family homes, but buildings like we're in, and those are in downtown, apartment buildings and so forth. They're expensive in terms of absolute dollar size, so they're very capital-intensive. And as a result, there's a fair amount of leverage that can be prudent and is used, and it just really doesn't solely relate to real estate. But in the debt market, essentially everything trades on ratings, Moody's and Fitch and S&P and the other rating agencies. And we all see the equity market on the news every day, but the debt market is 2 or 3 times larger than the equity market. So there's a significantly larger marketplace, and things trade there in normal conditions, but all based on ratings. And if I go back and from my perspective, look at some of the causes of the collapse that we've had in credit and how it's impacted real estate, and quite frankly some of the other industries as well, is that there was a loss of confidence in the ratings that Moody's and S&P and other agencies had. If I'm a debt trader and I'm buying based on the rating, and I presume Moody's has done a good job, and all of a sudden I question whether Moody's rating is as good as I thought it was, it just shuts down the whole marketplace, and so debt doesn't trade. So, and where Moody's made a mistake is they didn't understand some of the collateral supported in subprime mortgage tranches that were out there. They also were, quite frankly, taken advantage of by some of the greed on Wall Street. The guys who were turning the sausage back into tenderloin, as Rashid pointed out in his presentation. So there was some greed, but clearly, had the rating agencies appropriately looked at the underlying collateral and credit risk supporting these pools, they would have rated them differently, and I think we could have perhaps prolonged the top of the cycle for a while before something else caused it. But that clearly was one of the things that hurt. So it was about regulation. I would not be surprised if in a few years from now we look up and the government, if they're going to be bailing companies out or industries out, is having some influence over the rating agencies. That's what they do in the banking world. They have regulators come in and look at individual banks and rate their loans and so forth. But Moody's and S&P are a free market type of a deal, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some regulation aimed at that area.
Anybody else want to touch regulation?
The problems that we face in this country are incredibly complex, and unfortunately, I think most of the time they are presented in a way that implies something different. We know they're difficult. We know it's difficult times. I'm not saying it's not difficult, but they are very complex problems, no matter what industry you take. And since I don't know anything about any of the other industries, I'll talk about healthcare. And that is that when you talk about regulation in the healthcare industry, you need to dive down and say, what do you mean? Because there's regulation around supply and demand. States have certificate of need laws that basically manage the supply and demand of delivery of healthcare in that state. Some states have gotten rid of that, going back to a free market. Some states have very tight regulations around that. There's regulations around clinical care delivery, the quality of care. That's good for consumers, right? You have some standard, okay? So you don't have, me doing an operation on something, okay? There's regulations around the financial component, okay? And I would argue that some of these regulations, particularly the ones around the clinical side of the industry, are good. I have my views on the supply and demand. On the finance side, I think the regulations are bad. When you look at what are harmful, certainly not productive of moving the industry forward. When you look at what the money is being spent, the largest amount, one of the largest amount in the stimulus bill is $150 billion for the healthcare industry. So that's good. We're spending money on health. Well, what I would challenge challenge you to do as students is say, what are we doing with that money? Okay? $88 billion for Medicaid programs. What is it? It's stopgap funding because states have underfunded. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying understand what that is. And I know you're asking about regulations, but I would challenge you to think deeper. 25 billion of it is around COBRA funding. Not bad, but it's not stimulus. It's funding COBRA benefits for unemployed people. That's good. But let's call it what it is. There's $19 billion for healthcare IT development. That's good. Healthcare industry needs a much better IT infrastructure that will affect quality of care and so forth. So when you think about regulations, I think about it kind of in the money and how it's spent and what it's spent on. And I always challenge students to think, dive deeper than what you read in the AJC, certainly. Dive deeper than what you even see on the news. You know, go out and do some research and find out, you know, what is it? Because when you think about the regulatory side, what are the regulations really for?
Unfortunately, we're looking at a death by 1,000 cuts. Government intervention into markets, or AKA regulation, needs to have as a necessary condition one of three types of externalities. One, issues regarding customer protection, issues regarding market integrity, for example, manipulation, creation of artificial prices, fraudsters, and then protecting the integrity of the financial system. Those are necessary conditions, but they're not sufficient in the sense that then when you come up with a proposed regulation to perhaps address those, you got to do a cost-benefit analysis. All right, and clearly the benefits have got to exceed the costs. Well, all of the regulations that we're seeing now are not going through this type of thinking. They're just, you know, thinking of things to do. People aren't reading bills. People aren't reading legislation, and we're going to have, unfortunately, a lot of unnecessary regulations coming down.